Nigeria is considered one of the wealthiest countries in the world because of her population. Now, of that population, the youth population is amongst the largest in the world as well. That means Nigeria has a bright future if human capital can be maximized. In comes the Industrial Training Fund, ITF. Yes, it's an institution of government that's been in existence since 1971 with a mandate to provide training and skill acquisition across the country, whether government or private sector, across the sectors. How efficient has the Industrial Training Fund been? Now, some of us in Nigeria who schooled here had to go through a student industrial training program called CWES. That program has been considered by many to be ineffective. So, we had a conversation with one who should know why, because he is a teacher who's been teaching for the past over 31 years. He's been teaching and believes that there's so much more that can be done. Newsnight sat down for a conversation with the Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, Dr. Afiz Ogun. He talks to us about the plans for the now and the future, what is being done for the artisans in this country, and how they plan to raise how many? 5 million in 1 year out of poverty. How would that work? Listen to this conversation. Dr. Afiz Ogun, thank you for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you very much.
You are a teacher, and you've quite recently, not too long, been given a task to practically teach the whole nation. Let's start off from there. What has it been like since you came in?
Well, it's been quite interesting. When I came into the country, I found out that I found myself in Industrial Training Fund. You see, just like Fela Anikulapo Kuti, it says, whether you're a lecturer, whether you're a professor, whether you're a trainer, teacher, teacher. Mm-hmm. We are all teachers. No matter what you call it, as far as you impart knowledge, you're a teacher. Mm-hmm. So, finding myself in Industrial Training Fund, the home of training in Nigeria, it's been wonderful, and I'm enjoying it. And I really, really want to take it beyond that, just as you said, to teach all the artisans in Nigeria.
I like the way you're going to with this, but let's step back a bit and start off from history. Yes, you've just come in here, but I'm sure this is not the first time you heard of the ITF. Since 1971, this organization has been. Yes, in 2011, the act was actually put out there into, I think, 2011 also. Yeah. But in this space, 71, 2011, and now, over 4 decades. Well, yeah, about 5 decades now. Would you say the ITF has lived up to its mandate?
I will say not completely. The part of the mandate they have not lived up to is what we are digging now and bringing out and showing the world that this mandate to certify artisans, to certify training center, to license artisans, to organize the artisanry stage in Nigeria. ITF has not been doing that. We have just seen that that we have to bring that out of our mandate now, because it's one of our mandates. So, since we want to help the entire nation, the president has campaigned with a renewed hope agenda to help the masses, to lift Nigerian masses out of poverty. You see, when you say masses, it doesn't mean that artisans are all masses, but you see majority of them have been pushed to this level. We want to tell Nigerians that no, enough is enough. These guys can be upskilled. These guys, following the mandate given to ITF, we want to bring them up. We want to lift them up out of that deep hole they have been submerged.
In a society where many consider artisanry derogatory. I mean, there are very few these days who would even think about going to learn a skill. I know that growing up, we're taught. My brother, yes, he studied architecture, but before then he studied how to repair, how to fix lights, wiring and all of that. And that's what he was using to survive until he was done with school. But that's not the situation right now. So how would you even begin to change the thinking of Nigerians as regards artisans?
Thank you very much. As you know, I'm just coming from outside. And we all know so many countries out there, the artisans even earn more than the professors, more than doctors. They are well respected. This is the type of thing we want to replicate in Nigeria. We want to bring this into Nigeria. Dignity in artisanry. We want to bring this into Nigeria. And we are determined to do this.
But how would that work? How is it going to, that's the thing. How would it work when you say you're determined to do this?
Yes. You see, when you look at, the problem with Nigeria is, we look at the end result and look, oh, that tailor is struggling. That mechanic is struggling. He cannot even send his children to good schools. He cannot even eat 3 square meals. By the time you now see the mechanic driving luxury cars, by the time you now see mechanic, child going to anywhere he wants to go to, by the time you now see mechanic going on holiday abroad and coming back, by the time you now see the poor tailor high up there, you will be enticed. You, children growing up, want to be mechanic, want to be tailors, want to be welder. And that has started little by little. We have a professor today who is a welder, a university professor who is a welder. I had a meeting with him 2 weeks ago. So that is changing, and our program now in ITF is going to really change that one massively.
In terms of adaptation of the mandate as against what is, you say, yes, you have a professor who is a welder. That's what used to be, because as I said, my brother studied architecture. He's an architect, but he knows how to wire a house, how to little things with his hands. We do know that in secondary school then we were taught intro tech. In fact, 5334 system was such that at a certain time you're learning intro tech steady, but it's no longer in our schools. And yet you say you want to. As
a matter of fact, it didn't really happen practically.
It happened in my school.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Few schools. You see, what we are talking about here, it may look new. You said it has happened before. Something took it away. Dignity in labor. You see, when people look at what Nigerians, the entire Nigeria, especially the growing, the school children growing up, even those of us working, people want to look at it and say, what is the need for me? What am I going to gain at the end of the day? You see students asking you, teacher, what are you going to do? We're just doing x plus y, so y equals to 4, 2x plus 3z is equals to this. What am I going to do with this? Are you getting what I'm trying to say now? Then that's when you now need counselors to tell them, you need this for engineering, you need this for that, you need this for medicine, you need for that. There is nothing like that when it comes to artisanry. We take artisanry, it's an informal sector. You even see most of the people in there are illiterates. It's an informal sector. One way or the other, unconnected with the government. But now, the president, with his renewed hope agenda, wants to carry everybody along. Wants to carry the entire Nigeria along. When there is hardly a family where you don't have one artisan or the other. If you touch an artisan, if you uplift an artisan, you are uplifting the family. Your question says, you are looking at what I'm saying as theory, as compared to what is in the society. Like, oh, in our society today, everybody just looks down on them.
Is it just that, or the fact that this conversation is a conversation that has been? This is not the first time the government policies are targeted at the artisans.
This one is going to be different, because when the seriousness, when you have been given a mandate and you can see the man giving you the mandate is not joking at all. The president this time around came with the renewed hope agenda, and he has given us the mandate to upskill at least 5 million artisans in 1 year. And we have been sitting down, we have been planning, it's getting to an advanced stage. And by the time we continue to talk, if you allow me, I will tell you what we have done. And by the time I explain everything to you, describe the entire project to you, you will be convinced.
So you have 1 year to be to uplift 5 million artisans. You've taken 3 months already.
Yeah.
So you have...
No, we have not taken 3 months. This is January.
Okay, so this is the mandate for 2024.
2024.
5 million artisans.
Yes.
But you see, in your mandate, you have just sort of like focused on artisans, but there's a huge mandate. You have like how many items in your mandate? And one of the first amongst them.
We are, everything is taken care of.
One of the major mandates you have is to set training standards in all sectors of the economy.
Yes.
So you're now looking, we want to lift 5 million artisans out of poverty. But what happens to the other sectors of the economy that you're supposed to be setting training standards on? Where training standards have failed over time? That is going
on. You see, this new, this last mandate does not stop the work of the other areas of ITF. Every other thing is still going on as usual. The number 1, 2, 3, they are going on. Everything is going on without anything disturbing them. This is the part we have not been doing. And the president is saying, lift up my artisans, lift up Nigerian artisans. I want to see them up. I want to upskill them. I want to raise them to international standard. So, and we are prepared to do that.
But you also know about the mindset, the perception of the Nigerians to the Nigerian artisans, that they never do their job well and they never keep to their promises.
Okay, I think you really want to know about the program.
No, I'm coming.
Because if I tell you about the program, you will know where we are going. You know where we are coming from.
Let me finish.
You don't know where we are going.
Let me finish.
That's why this question is still coming like this.
No, the question I'm asking, you've not heard the question. The perception out there is that the average Nigerian artisan will not keep his word. If he tells you, I'm going to finish laying these tiles in 2 weeks, you definitely will not do that. And then, besides that, is that the lines will not be straight.
In an informal sector.
And you said, disorganized in a space where you already told me that many of them are illiterate.
Yes.
If you look around the building sector in Nigeria, for instance, let's use Abuja, for instance, the tilers, most of the tilers are foreigners. They're not Nigerian.
Yes.
And we have Nigerian tilers.
Yes.
We have Nigerian plumbers. But most of the plumbers you find in the building sector right now are not Nigerian. And where they are Nigerians, they are just a subset of a bigger team led by someone from Benin, Ghana, and all of that. So what is your plan to ensure that these perception, one, is changed? Two, these artisans correct their ways, let's use the word repent from their evil ways, and get back to the right path?
Thank you very much. Even a goat, if you don't control a goat, it will go haywire. It can even bite you like a dog. But when you tame a goat, you control a goat, you put a system in place, and you put punitive measures in place. It is legalized. It is supported by the government. This is a government thing. The goats, you put the goats, the fowl, the dogs, they will conform. Exactly what we are trying to do. This thing is disorganized. The president is saying, organize this sector for us. You are the one with the mandate to organize this sector. And this is what we are doing with this program. When you organize the sector, everybody will line up. Everybody will queue. I remember in 1984, during the days of, we were in secondary school then, 83, 84, Buhari, today the regime.
Yeah.
Everything was haywire. Immediately war against indiscipline came. Everybody, you see people lining up. You cannot just speak anyhow. Things were going orderly because Nigerians, if properly done, my people can follow rules.
Walk us through the plan as you started it so far. How's it going? What's it going to look like?
Thank you. We're going to have something like hypothetical drum. Hypothetical. Not that we're going to put people into drum, with an entrance, a big entrance. All artisans, young, old, male, females, tailor, mechanics, welder, everybody will be registered to go into that job. Everybody. But the brown, those that are already in the trade, and the green, those that are willing to come into the trade. We know initially we'll get little of those, but later we're expecting a lot from them. Everybody will go into this drum. Within this drum, inside this drum, we are going to classify them. We are going to classify them into different stages, different trades, train them, give them international training. We have a collaboration with trainers from outside and from within. I will come in, we train our artisans. This is going to be going on. It's a continuous thing. As people come in, register, we are training. And when we train, I'm just summarizing, in this drum, it's like you put something inside, you synthesize, you understand? So when we train these artisans, we now have 3 exits from this drum, this hypothetical drum. The first exit are artisans we want. There is a program, part of the Renewed Hope Agenda 2, from our ministry, same ministry, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. That is the National Export Program, where we have MOU with countries. We create a conduit pipe where our artisans will be exported outside Nigeria, depending on the need of such country. Many countries know Nigerians as the best in everything they do. I always say, both the good, the bad, and the ugly, Nigerians are the best. I always say this, whatever we do, we are best. They know that outside, but they don't want people coming from here and there, here and there. They want something organized from the government. Now we are laying this conduit pipe between us and several countries. We are discussing with countries. We are signing MOU right now. The first exit is passing through the NATEC. That's going National Export Program. Passing through that outside. As a matter of fact, some countries are even wooing us now, telling us, I will do this for them, I will do that for them. If they come to my country, I will do this. If they come to my country, I will do that. We are getting that now. So, that is the first exit. The second exit is certifying the international and the local companies in Nigeria, the top countries in Nigeria, such that Nigerians, we see companies in Nigeria going to India to bring in workers, going to other, they have the right to do that. Of course, international law gives them the right to do that, but we are the landlord. You understand what I'm trying to say? We should also benefit from this. But they've seen that the quality of our artisanry is poor. We want to lift them up to international standards so that that area will satisfy the home need. And we will place them in companies. Companies will come to us at a particular point and they will be begging us. Just like these countries who have heard about our program, they are giving us incentive. Companies will be saying, okay, I'm ready to pay this. I'm ready to give this condition. That is coming. That is the other exit. For those that will be working in Nigeria. With good pay, with good condition of service. And the last exit from this drum, hypothetical drum, is those that are old. We all know we are Africans. Once Nigerians get to 50, 55, they don't want to travel out again. They want to relax, they want to stay at home. We also have that exit where those artisans will be set up. We have micro, small, medium enterprise. This is anchored by another sister body, Smidan, and a very huge one, another huge program by the Vice President of Nigeria. I'm a member of that committee, where the Vice President is doing a lot of, in fact, a fantastic job creating helping them to get loans, to help them set up their own company. This one will also be done because now they are not just artisans we are talking about. When we are talking about training them, we are not just going to train them only about mechanic. We are going to train them about mindset, what you should do and what you should not do. And when they are now in their own company, we are going to have extension program. We are going to have people that will be visiting them, helping them on how to keep their bookkeeping, helping them on how to sales, promotions, and all those things to lift up their business. We're not going to leave them alone. We're going to have extension services that will help them in that other area. And those that have gone abroad, we also have a way, because of the incentive and everything, they will not, people are talking about Japa. Japa is good, but we don't want Japa Nigeria without skill. We want Nigeria Japa that we go and earn the dollar home. Bring back the dollars. We don't want Japa that will go and wash dead body, that will go and wash toilet. We don't want that Japa. We want Japa with skill, with something here and here, that we go out there and fetch Nigeria the dollars. So this is like a brief summary, just a brief summary of what we are planning. But it is not as simple as I presented it.
Exactly.
Thank you. I know you are going to ask me that question. That's why I'm going there.
Okay.
When you come, you see this, you have just 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That drum is a complicated drum. That drum is a drum where a lot of mechanism is going to be put in place to churn out quality artisans.
Why do you think ITF derailed in the course of its mandate to certify the training centers and to train Nigerians, to create training standards and policies in all sectors? Why did ITF derail?
I would say it depends on, you see, ITF is the Director General, the office I'm holding now, is a political office. And it is men go, men come, women go, women come. You see, all human beings are not the same. Some people have their own focus, you understand? Some people just want to focus on one thing and pursue it. Some people they have their own, out of the 4 agendas, say, okay, let me just focus on this, I know I've finished this. I don't operate like that. My own is all or none principle, because everything is connected. So I believe one major reason why they derail, or not really derail, left out those mandates, is because as human beings, some people just want to face one thing and finish it first before going to the other. But these mandates it's not something you can finish, it's continuous. And they are joined together. So if you do that, maybe at certain points, some DGs have come and focused on 1 or 2 things just to achieve their own, put their best into it. But I don't operate like that. Besides, I have a president right now supporting me, telling me, go ahead. I want you to uplift Nigerian artisans. So why not? While I'm doing the other jobs, while I'm carrying out the other mandate, the abandoned one, I've lifted it. So everything goes together.
Are you going to also lift up the student industrial program, the CWES? Because many students have gone through it.
You see,
and
CWES,
it's either they are not effectively trained,
or they are not paid.
or they are not paid their stipend. But the most important one is the fact that many fill the form and they never go through the program.
You see, last month, it was in December, I held a meeting with the student union of polytechnics. And right now, as I'm talking to you, see, when you have a factory, you are the boss, you are the owner of the factory. And you want to know how your product is doing, how good, what is going on with your product. You don't go into your factory and start asking the workers there. You go into the field, you go to the consumers. That's what I'm doing now. I went to the students. I'm forming a committee now that students will be part of the committee to drive CWES. CWES, I will agree with you that it has not been fantastic. But this time around, we are trying to turn things around. I'm forming a committee, and the students who are the consumer, they will be part of this committee. I've discussed with them. And I've seen the problems in CWES. And I've seen where the money is hanging, where the lack of training is hanging, and some other complications we in the past in ITF brought in. Some other group we brought in. Those we don't need. Those we don't even have the mandate to bring in. We brought them in. You know the Nigeria factor. That one is my friend. I bring him in. That one is my friend. Complicate the whole entire environment. We are going to sanitize that environment, and we are going to digitalize it such that you are supposed to go. I get your list from your university. You go in there, you log in, I compare with your list, you fill in what you are supposed to fill. At the end of the time you are supposed to have your money, bang, it enters with your BVN. You have your BVN, you have your NIN. Thank God for that now. So it goes in seamlessly. We also have people on the field monitoring, apart from the digitalization. So it's going to be better than before. The CWES, I'm still looking into it and forming this committee with the students and all the stakeholders. I think.
What about the industries that are absorbing these students? Are you also looking to see how, because some of them have been being part of this CWES for now. Yes.
This artisanal program, we are now going to be in partnership with a lot of bodies. I just had a big meeting with some of the trade unions today. So we are not just going to sit down. When they are posted, we don't post them. Their school posts them. Some of them look for this themselves. I'm going to sit down with them, and this posting of these students into these industries, I'm sure the students will bring it up. Because that's one place I think they are having challenges where to do this. They're going to bring it up. It will help us in this, our artisanal program also. You don't think so? It will help us.
How?
Thank you very much. These boys are Nigerians. They are Nigerians. We are taking artisans to you as a training center. Our boys will also come with them. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's an engineering company. We already have rapport. So I have rapport with you as an industry, a factory producing something. I can bring the students, chemical engineering students, this student, that student. I can bring them because I already have rapport with you. I can help them. I will not do everything alone. In conjunction with the higher institutions, with their institutions, of course I can help, because this artisanal program, with the training centers, the industries, they are so happy. They are praying for it to start. So once it starts, we have having rapport with them. We can now use this leverage to help our students to learn the everyday life thing, different from what they have. Continue from there what they learned in the classroom.
I heard you say something earlier about when it's time, the monies will hit their accounts. I'm sure some students will be smiling right now. Oh, thank God. It will not be like our older ones who have gone through. But you've also...
Let me shock you. There were some students who have not collected their money in the last 5 years. I'm digging that out now. and I'm looking for the money, and I'm getting the money. How many the other day? About 300 and something. I just approved, pay them. They were people from long time ago.
So some of us who graduated like over 20 years ago, can we still get that money?
That may not be possible. That may not be possible. But maybe from 5 years back, taking things from 5 years back forward, we are working on that.
Are you going to add interest to the money?
Actually, I will not be adding interest because we are just giving the money by government, pay them. That's our own. ITF is giving the money, pay this number of students, pay them. This is the number of students, submit to us, we tell them, the accountant general puts the money in our account, we pay them. Our own is just to take the money and pay them. But there have been some bottlenecks which I am clearing, which I'm really wide-needy bottleneck now, clearing the debris in that area, which has been stopping the flow.
So when you sound like you're in a space you like, of course, you're a teacher, so you like it. It's a training place. But looks like you have a team, your board and all of that. Looks like they're working well with you.
Fantastic.
Because you're sounding very, very fervent.
Fantastic. You see, when the head is good, when the head is ready to work, everybody will be ready. Like the president says, ITF, go out there to our minister of Trade, Industry and Investments. Go out there. I want you to uplift 5 million artisans in a year. And you know this man is serious. The president is serious. The minister keeps calling us every time. What have you done? How far have you gone? This is coming through from the president. And I also know that the vice president has a pathway for those that want to be entrepreneurs. You understand what I'm trying to say? I am attending the meeting with the vice president all the time. I'm getting the heat from this side, from the president's side, through the minister. Why won't everybody is saying it in the nation. Why won't, and my people, to be frank with you, they are very loving. Immediately I came in, the way they accepted me, in fact, it's fantastic. They treat me, in fact, when I came in, I was treated like a king. I was received like a king. And the joy was beyond bounds. And since then, we have been working together. Things have been going, even when I reshuffle, normally when you reshuffle your directors, there is backlash and this. No, everybody is happy in their new places because I gave them the reason for putting them there. I am somebody who does not believe a particular place is a desert. No, bring that juice from the desert. Bring the water from the desert. That's why you are there. And they are doing that. So that one is not an issue at all for us.
Again, let's talk money.
All right.
It's all right. You've put out very lovely ideas. They will cost money to implement. That drum.
Yes.
To get that drum together.
That drum is where the money will be spent.
That drum needs to be welded. The material needs to be gotten, and then the welding has to happen for you to bring in those artisans into that drum. Where would the money come from? In this space where we're talking about revenue issues for the country, how would you get the money to run all of this?
See, ITF is self-funding.
You will have to break it down. When you say self-funding, how? How do you get money?
We get our money from the contributing employers. 1% of their salaries they pay the workers, or their payroll, 1% comes into ITF.
So 1% of my salary of my organization comes to ITF?
I will explain to you.
Okay.
Comes to ITF. However, we have not been able to get everything because there are millions of companies in Nigeria. It is also regulated. It is not all the companies. Companies that have up to 25. You see, initially it used to be 5. Now it is increased. If you have 25 workers, it used to be 5 workers, then you'll be eligible to pay this 1% of your payroll. That 1% will now make sure you train your workers. When you train your workers, you will come back to us and we find out, we check. We have a way of checking everything. We collect 50% from that 1%. That means you have 0.5% in ITF. You agree with that? Do you understand now? So that has reduced the money again. 1%, you come back for 50% of that 1%. So we have now 0.5%. This 0.5%, my brother, it is from there we pay the salaries of over 2,000, almost going into 3,000 workers all over the country. We run 46 offices and training centers. We buy the machineries. We maintain the machineries. We buy the cars. We maintain the cars that our revenue officers will be taken out to drive more revenue. So it is from this 0.5%. And it is also from this 0.5% that this laudable project is coming up. That's why, you see, we have been sent on an errand by the president now. From 0.5% before, lest I forget, from this 0.5%, governments will still used to take some money from this. Yes, this is not the only way, but that's the elephant in the house. That's where our major revenue is coming from. We have other little revenue, which we call training costs, from where we have some scheduled trainings and unscheduled trainings, where some people pay for us to train them. Some organizations, some states pay for us to train them. But this is not too much. So, all in all, the money coming into this program will be coming. And other funds, would say other revenue. Maybe we have a big office like this, we rented one small part of it out. These are little money. You understand what I'm trying to say? Little fund coming from there. The main money is that 0.5. But at the end of the day, I came in October and I found out that 40% of our revenue is taken back also after the 50% from the contributing employer, 40% again back to the government. That's why we are appealing, we are kneeling down, we are begging the government now to please. ITF is a fund. They will be leaving us alone. We believe that. We pray that. Because by the time the president sees that the message, the job he has given to us, we are doing it well, then he may just tell them, okay, these people, and he may also, because you see, in African adage, you say it is the person that sends you are afraid of, not the person you are going to deliver the message to. You understand? So, we are not that we are afraid, we respect the man that has given us this mandate, that is sending us on this errand. This time around, uplift Nigerian artisans. We are going out there to do that. When he sees, we know him, that we are struggling with fund, he's going to assist us.
So this 1%.
We know we are going to struggle with funds.
I know.
And we believe 100% that he's going to assist us.
I've just attempted to do a little bit of mathematics here. I hope my maths is still good. So let's just assume you have 1 million companies in Nigeria, right? Not companies generally, okay. And each of them has approximately, say, 25 workers, right? Any minimum wage, let's use minimum wage, 30,000. So that gives us about 750,000 per company, times 1 million. That's about 750 billion. That's how much you're supposed to get. Is that monthly or annually?
Annually.
Annually. So 750 billion. You say 50% of that is taken out if they do the training.
Yes.
And indeed, not all the companies have even been paying. So at the end of the day, someone said to me today, says, the problem with Nigeria is consequence management. He was a former president. I was watching a video and I heard him say that. He says, the problem is consequence management. When people know that if they do something, they'll be punished, then can the ITF take companies to court?
We do. And they also take us to court. You see, there is punishment, punitive measure. we have compound interest, a penalty, which is 5% compound interest every month. 5%. Sometimes the penalty is even heavier than the training contribution they are supposed to pay. The penalty is usually heavier.
So do you have an idea of which of the companies that are owing the ITF right now?
Oh, right now, a lot of companies are owing the ITF, and I have to be frank with you here, the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, they put up an ad hoc committee, now changed to a special committee that has been helping ITF to push this, getting this revenue from certain companies that feel they are above the law. There's so many of them. Some of them are government agencies. They're also supposed to pay. They will tell you that they are not supposed to pay. The law says this. The law says trade, commerce, and industry. The law does not say that. I said, go into the dictionary, check the meaning of commerce. When you look at commerce, it covers everything, all trade. Whether you are a hospital or this, or as far as you make money, it covers you. So they don't want to pay us, but with the National Assembly, the honorable members of the House of Representatives, they have been helping us a lot to generate funds, collect this fund.
To get back your money.
To get back our money. However, with this new year, 50% of our money will be taken back. After 50% is taken. But that we are working on, and the government is prepared to listen to us.
So when I ask the question, if you know the companies that are owing you,
yes.
How many companies would you say are owing the ITF right now?
To be frank with you, I cannot give you a number of this is the number of companies. However, this time around, we are having handshake with CAC and with the FIRS. Once we have this handshake, nobody will be able to escape this.
You know, it's really interesting. All that you've talked about and all that you need to do. But you're also supposed to conduct and assist others to research any matter relating to training in the industry.
Yes. We have a research department doing that. And I'm doing a lot of work about that. They are fantastic. We have, you see, when I came into ITF, before I came in, when the announcement was made, I went into a lot of research myself. Even when I was in the plane coming back home, I was reading. I found out that ITF has brains there, fantastic men and women there. You see, when I landed, I see them every day. I give them work, the way they do it so professionally. So we have a center, a department, a research and curriculum development department that is doing this. And we have men who are actually professional in this area to take care of that. Yes. When in this, our artisan program, you see, we get curriculum from the countries that want our service. We get their curriculum. And this curriculum, our in-house research and curriculum development, we work on this curriculum. You understand? In a way that will be easy for our own people at home to learn.
Yes, with all these funds, the deployment of the funds, the artisans, many, if not 80% of them, are in the rural communities. Many of our workers, many of those, your staff here in Abuja, will not want to go to those rural communities to go and do training because they will spend a minimum of 3 weeks, minimum. And I know that they're definitely longer than that. So what's the plan to ensure that this works out to everybody's getting into those rural areas to train them? But by the time you get that curriculum and you break it down to the practical side, how do you get it into those nooks and crannies, especially areas that during elections they'll tell you the terrain is not the horrible terrain. We hear that during the elections.
Election is one day. It's something that is to be done very fast. Training is not like that. You don't hurry it.
True.
It's something you need to be patient while you are doing. Getting to those places will not be a problem. We are going to be patient. We have trainers in Bayelsa, in some areas in Bayelsa, deep down. I will train people there. Right now, as I'm talking to you.
Do you have people in Kuma Hills? In the north?
Kuma Hills. We don't have people there.
Are you going to send people there?
To Kuma Hills. You see, do you know Kuma Hills? Have you been there as a reporter?
No, I haven't, but my colleague has.
Your colleague, if your colleagues can get there, we can get there. Are they not Nigerians? They got there. We can get there.
It's not about I can. Will you get there? Will you get these things to the nooks?
Of course, there are artisans there. There are farmers there.
Yes.
I know that majority of them are farmers. And we have what we call IBSEC. We have one part of our program that is all about agriculture. Of course, we will get there.
Indeed. And for the Nigerians who like to use artisans and yet do not believe in them, what would you tell them?
What would I tell them? Watch and see. In a matter of months, they'll start seeing the results. And they'll be surprised. Oh, this thing can happen. A lot of people have told me that nothing works in this country. Do you think this will work? Oh, this is your plan. You are putting this, it will be frustrated. I tell them, it will not be frustrated. You see, I'm a man who believes in when you fall, you get up and move again and push harder and push smarter. I believe that. Smarter, not harder. Harder, you'll be tired. You'll be fatigued. Put smarter, push smarter, work smarter. When you fall, get up again, plan again, and move on. You see, I am not telling you that everything will be smooth.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that it's just boom, smooth pathway. No. I am telling you that I know that I will encounter difficulty on the way, but I will not allow that one to push me back. Never. I will continue to push smarter. When this happens, if difficulty comes, I'll walk out my way and move on.
Dr. Afeez Oluwatunyogun, thank you so much for speaking with us on this night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We wish you well.
Thank you very much.
As much as we want the show not to end, it has to end. And this is our point. We want to thank you for letting us come to you, but also we want to thank you for your comments. We do take your comments real seriously. As you can see, we open the show with your comments. Let us know what you think about this conversation. The handles are right there on your screen. Also, you can catch up with this conversation and others that we've done before. Just go to our website, channelstv.com/podcast. Or if that's not good enough for you, just stay on YouTube and search for Newsnight on Channels TV. You'll find us there. Till we come your way again. Bye-bye.